crafting lenses and mirrors. With the basics of glass making under his belt, Akshat's mind turned to one of humanity's most transformative inventions, the lens. If he could shape glass into a curved, polished form, he could bend light, magnifying tiny details or focusing the sun's rays. And with a mirror, he could reflect light, signal across distances, or study himself for the first time in this new world. He began with the glass discs he'd made in clay molds. Most were cloudy, but a few came out clearer, with fewer bubbles. He selected the best and set about shaping them. Scientific note: how lenses work. A lens is a piece of transparent material, like glass, with at least one curved surface. When light passes through a lens, the curve bends, refracts the light rays, focusing them to a point. Convex lenses, thicker in the middle, bring light together and can magnify objects. Early lenses were often simple, thick discs ground and polished by hand. To shape the glass, Akshat needed abrasives. He collected fine sand and crushed quartz, mixing them with water to make a gritty paste. Using a flat stone as a base, he placed the glass disc on top and began grinding it in slow, circular motions. The process was tedious, hours of rubbing, checking, and smoothing. But gradually, the surface became more even and curved. He alternated between coarse sand for shaping and finer clay or ash for polishing. When the lens was smooth enough, he held it up to the sunlight and saw the world magnified for the first time. The veins of a leaf, the delicate hairs on his own skin, the intricate structure of a butterfly's wing. Scientific note: grinding and polishing glass. Grinding glass uses progressively finer abrasives to remove scratches and shape the surface. Polishing with even finer materials, like clay or ash, creates a smooth, clear finish. This method has been used for centuries to create lenses and mirrors, even before the invention of modern tools. For mirrors, Akshat experimented with coating one side of a flat glass disc with a thin layer of metal. He remembered that ancient people used polished metal, like copper or bronze, as mirrors. He collected small amounts of copper ore from green-streaked rocks, ground it, and heated it in his kiln to extract tiny beads of metal. He hammered the copper into thin sheets and pressed them against the back of a glass disc. The result was a crude but functional mirror, enough to catch the sunlight and reflect his own face, ghost-like, from the surface. Scientific note: early mirrors. Before modern silvered mirrors, people used polished pieces of metal, copper, bronze, or even obsidian, volcanic glass, to see their reflection. Coating glass with a thin layer of metal creates a brighter, clearer mirror. The process requires patience and careful hammering, as well as a smooth glass surface. Akshat's first lens was far from perfect, thick, with a faint green tint and a few stubborn bubbles. But it worked. He used it to examine seeds, study the structure of leaves, and even focus sunlight to ignite dry grass for his fire. His mirror, too, was a small triumph. It reflected light into the darkest corners of his shelter and allowed him to see his own changing face, a reminder that he was still human, still learning, still moving forward. With glass, lenses, and mirrors, Akshat had taken another leap. He could now observe the world more closely, harness light, and lay the groundwork for even greater discoveries ahead.